When I first learned that I was going to be a dad, the very first time, I went to the bookstore, which is kind of an almost an old-fashioned thing to say now since we buy so many books online. But I went to the bookstore and I purchased a journal. That was the first gift I got my son. And I started to write in it things that I wanted my son to learn, things I wanted him to explore and see, cities I've been to, restaurants I've eaten in, shows I've seen, baseball games I've been to, even wrote the dates so he knew what day I was at a game. I wrote quotes that I love, stories about my life, his family history, stories about my grandfather, my grandmother, where they came from. I even wrote down the addresses I grew up at because I wanted him to be able to go back to those places and see what I had experienced a little bit. And it dawned on me through this process that I was doing a lot more than just having a son or a baby at all. I was going to be helping to program a human. And so I have in my hand this hard drive. This was a blank hard drive at one point. It has information on it now. But this hard drive represents the brain of our kid when they're born. And anything we put on here, it can be great or it can be poor. And so after creating this week's video, I was thinking about sharing this lesson because to me, this was a really important video. I hope you'll think about this as you are raising your son. Another thing I would say about this week's video that is important to me is for my son, the courage and the ability to stand up when you're scared is very important. And in society, I think we see that the strong one usually resorts to violence. And I have taught my son that at times, unfortunately, in his life, that might be the case. I hope not. I hope not for him, right? We hope that our kids are able to explore and enjoy this world without violence. But when he sees a kid being picked on, I've taught him that it's important not to necessarily insert himself into the situation directly, but to alert an adult, alert a teacher, and a parent, a police officer, a principal, whoever he can grab, to let them know what's going on. And I have found that my son, when we've talked about this, does feel more confident. He tells me he's happier. When I was a kid, I was pretty much taught to protect others, physically if needed. And sometimes that happens, right? As we get older, especially, we find that sometimes that happens. But when they're that age, when they're 8, it's important to let them know what they need to do in situations where there's an emergency, where it arises. Because we want them to be resilient. We want them to grow up strong. And we want them to use the lesson of asking for help when they need it. So when they feel scared, I've taught my son that when he sees somebody maybe getting bullied or picked on at school, to alert people that can help, people that will be able to directly influence the situation and really make a change. And I think that's helped him. So I just wanted to pass this information along. As I finished up the video, I was thinking about some of the lessons I've taught my son. And again, because he's 8 now, I'm seeing that right now he's an A student. He's doing great in school. He's socially, I was a little worried because he doesn't have too many really close friends. So I asked his teacher about it, and she said she thought he was very emotionally well-adjusted because he's actually friends with kids in many of the different classes and in all age groups. So he's friends with some kindergartners, he's friends with some kids in 5th grade, and his school only goes kindergarten through 5th. And she said that he's able to speak to all of the kids when they're out at the playground at recess, or if they see each other in the hallways, he's able to communicate, whereas other kids in his class maybe a little bit less so. So she thought that was an impressive sign that he is maturing very well. So I just wanted to pass these things along to you as a little extra for this week's video. Maybe I'll do some occasional videos like this where I just kind of talk off the cuff and share with you some of my experiences, because I do have this 8-year-old. I also have a 3-year-old that is completely different than the 8-year-old. I don't know what happened. I'll share some funny stories about him as well. But I'm excited about the Leaders Bucket. I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Make sure you share this with other people that'll benefit, and we'll see you soon.